2024 has now come and gone, and it was a year of a lot of different things. You know, we've seen Mahomes take a big nosedive in his abilities. We've seen one of the most debated MVP races in years. We've seen the revival of the running back. A lot of huge things changing this year in the NFL. And now, in this video, we're going to be predicting things for 2025. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you 10 of my biggest predictions for the upcoming year. A lot of different things. Maybe the off-season stuff, in-season stuff, all kinds of stuff. And before we get into this video, let me just remind you, check out my friends at w.gg. They have some of the best energy drinks around. Here's some of my flavors right here that I've been personally drinking. I love them all. I'm not going to lie to you. I am a big fan of what they're brewing over there at W. Check out w.gg. That's their website. Or you can click the link in the description and use code SHREDDER, SHRD3R, for 10% off your order of anything on their website. Either way, let's get right into this video. I'm going to kind of go from top to bottom here and get a little bit more intense as we go. And starting off with number one, my prediction in the offseason and for the NFL draft is that no quarterbacks go in the top 5. Yes, I know that might sound crazy. You might be thinking, oh, the Patriots, okay, well, they have Drake May. Tennessee, they need a quarterback maybe. Cleveland, they need a quarterback maybe. The Giants, they need a quarterback maybe. And, well, guess what? All those teams are top 4 right now. None of them are going to take a quarterback? No, they're not. I don't think the Giants are going to like any of them enough. I don't think they're going to have enough people around. And also, there may be something else that happens I'll tell you in a minute about. The Cleveland Browns, they don't think they're there in general. They think there's other things to be found. Tennessee as well. They just are not in the place to take a quarterback. They don't love the quarterbacks of this class. Maybe they trade out. Some of those things. Guys like Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, they really haven't had incredible seasons. They've been pretty good, but also not amazing. Now, there's also a world where they get overdrafted, and these are just predictions, but I'm going to go with no quarterbacks in the top 5 of this year's NFL draft. A bit of a, surprise maybe to some, but we'll see what happens. Number 2, the Cowboys re-sign Mike McCarthy.
I am inevitable.
Now, this one may not be the biggest in the world, but, it's kind of a dumb thing that the Cowboys would do. Jerry Jones is straight up ruining this team year after year by doing, well, a lot of nothing, really. That's kind of what he's been doing, a whole lot of nothing. And Jerry Jones, as long as he's in control of this team is going to go nowhere. So, Cowboys re-sign Mike McCarthy, put themselves in a bigger hole for more and more years, and, well, you'll see how much damage that continues to do here in a moment. Number 3, a prediction for this year's Super Bowl. I'm going to take it as the Bills and the Eagles make the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, you might think, hey, the Lions are a really good team. You might think, oh, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and the Ravens and whoever else. They're all very good options. But I'm taking the Bills and the Eagles. Now, this has been my prediction for a couple years now. I really am waiting on them two to make a Super Bowl together. Bills, it's their year. It feels like it. Josh Allen is playing at otherworldly levels. And for the Eagles, they have probably the most complete team in football. Very dominant season they've put on this year. Saquon Barkley would be the MVP if he didn't play the running back position. And really, it just makes the most sense. To me, they are the most dangerous team on either side of the playoff picture. My 4th bold prediction may be one of the bigger ones of this video. 2 of the top 5 best edge rushers end up on different teams. Now, that's through probably a trade. More than likely, they end up getting traded. Now, who are those best 5? That's kind of the big question here. In my opinion, no real order to this, but there's TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and Nick Bosa. That's your 5, okay? Now, 2 of those end up traded. I don't think TJ Watt will get traded. I think the 3 most likely in order are Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, or maybe swap Parsons and Garrett. But those 3 are the ones who I primarily believe would be traded. More than likely, Max Crosby would be traded from requesting out. A guy who, he's on a bad team. The Raiders are bad, and maybe he doesn't like what they're doing. Maybe, they don't fire Antonio Pierce, or they do, or whatever, and he doesn't like it, so he leaves. And then maybe they swap. Them in Dallas. Maybe they just do a little switcheroo. Probably not going to happen, but kind of would be interesting if they did. But either way, that is my 4th prediction for this video. Moving on to number 5. This one, we're going to change our tone a little bit. Not so much the NFL. This is just a football one across the board, but you'll see what it kind of relates to. Bill Belichick makes a deep college football playoff run in his very first year as a college football coach, and then returns back to the NFL just after 1 year. Maybe not a national championship win, but a very big run, a good year. Maybe to the national championship game or the games right before, the semifinals. One of those to happen. Bill Belichick, and then returns to the NFL. Just kind of goes and toys around in college to prove he can do it, and then really just takes the job to make sure his son gets the North Carolina job there, which has already basically happened. So, I mean, kind of a weird little storyline there, but Chapel Bill will only last for one season. Number 6, Aaron Rodgers plays in New York for the New York Giants. And Daniel Jones signs with the Jets. They do a little switcheroo, even though Daniel Jones is technically a Viking now. They just swap quarterbacks from the beginning of this season to the beginning of next season, and Devontae Adams joins Aaron Rodgers on the Giants. This would be I think, a very interesting thing to happen. I mean, the Giants are probably on paper not as good, but I also think Brian Daboll with Aaron Rodgers would be a lot better than what Robert Saleh had with the Jets. Even though that the Jets have a much better roster, the Jets are a dumpster fire. They got to get out of there. The Jets don't want Aaron to be in there anymore, and I don't blame them. He is kind of a bit of a cancer to a sense, but it's just a dumpster fire in general across the board over there in New York. I would not want to be them right now at all. Number 7. This is an interesting one here. Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Zach Wilson, the 2021 quarterback draft class minus Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence. But those 3 guys, Fields, Jones, and Wilson, fight for Raiders quarterback 1 spot this year. The Raiders have done themselves no favors. Currently sitting at the 8th position in the NFL draft. Maybe that could be a spot they land a quarterback. You know, I did say earlier, no quarterbacks go in the top 5. So maybe they get one. Maybe Shedeur Sanders falls. Maybe it happens. But especially if they win this last week against the Chargers, especially if that happens, well, they're not really going to be able to have a very good pick. They're going to fall probably sub 10. And that's going to be bad for them and not good at all in any way, shape, or form. So they go ahead and do what they can. Get Justin Fields, get Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, maybe just 2 of them. That's very possible because it's also very fair that they're not going to sign 3 quarterbacks in one offseason. So maybe just 2 of them. But I like to think maybe all 3 would be kind of fun for the storyline at least. Fight for that quarterback 1 position in Vegas. Now, who would win? Honestly, probably Justin Fields simply for his athletic ability. Mac Jones is probably a safer bet, but to a point of no return. You're really not any upside there. He's probably he's probably a higher floor than Justin Fields because Fields is just kind of a, you know, if he's bad, he's going to be really, really bad. Mac Jones, not really great, not very good. Fields is probably better, but he also can throw the ball at least a little bit better than Justin Fields can in a vacuum sense. Either way, moving on from there. Number 8, this one, a big quarterback trade takes place. Kyler Murray becomes a Colt. The Colts look to make a big change. They need something new. Anthony Richardson has not worked out. Shane Steichen, could he get fired? That's very possible. They currently sit with the 12th overall pick. I don't think they're going to look to draft anybody, but Kyler Murray could be a valuable asset for them. He also is kind of getting out of the range for the Cardinals to continue building around him, and really he's kind of just fallen off at the end of the season. I don't think it'd cost the Colts all that much. They may be able to keep 12, give up a couple second or thirds, and get Kyler Murray, and I think that's a pretty fair trade. Something to switch it up, try something new, get at least a decent floor of a quarterback in there for Indianapolis instead of a guy like Anthony Richardson, whose floor is very much the bottom of the league. Anyways, moving on from that one. Number 9, T. Higgins. In a last-ditch effort to save Trevor Lawrence, ends up a Jaguar. T. Higgins, Trevor Lawrence, they did have a little bit of time at Clemson together, so maybe this is something that'd be really, really good for them. Something that they can go and, you know, help each other out. T. Higgins can maybe become a for real wide receiver 1 with the connection he'll have naturally with Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence gets a legitimate weapon. The first legit weapon that the Jaguars would bring in for him since he's been there. Christian Kirk's not that good. Calvin Ridley wasn't that good. Evan Ingram, he's okay, but he's not special particularly. T. Higgins theoretically could be special. I think we've kind of seen his ceiling, but I think he's got more than what they've had to work with so far. It'd be the best option. Him and Brian Thomas would be a heck of a duo. Very awesome little combo there you could do. And finally, our 10th prediction. This one is a little bit different, honestly. Chargers. They improve their weapons. Maybe that's going to get a Chris Godwin. Maybe that's stealing a T. Higgins. Okay, maybe so. And they break the Charger curse with Harbaugh, Herbert, and they win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years.
Time to turn off the Xbox. It is, baby.
And become a dominant team. This is something a little bit more for the future, okay? But at the same time, this is a team that has really struggled and has been considered cursed for years now, decades now. This team can't break it, but guess what? Harbaugh, Herbert, there's a different culture. There's a different vibe there. I think they can bring this back, bring the Chargers up to a level they've never hit, get a Super Bowl done in the next year or two. They just need some guys to throw the ball to, okay? The defense looks a lot better. The offense just needs a bit of a spark, a little bit of oomph to it, right? maybe draft a guy, maybe bring in a guy from free agency. Chris Godwin would be a great fit with Justin Herbert, in my opinion. Him and Ladd McConkey would be cutting up all day on those defenders. Either way, those are my 10 bold predictions for 2025, the NFL or football across the board in 2025. Let me know what you think down below, and maybe one of your bold predictions for this coming year yourself. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out w.gg or click the description in my bio, or my description, excuse me, also for my merch. Those are new shirts I've been making. I'm working on some more. So if you have any ideas, shoot them to me. I've got my business email on my page. And thank you guys once again. I really appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to just make some videos and enjoy some content. And just, let me know what you think down in the comments below about this video as a whole. Either way, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one.